We are serious about fighting corruption. We must not fail in our quest to eliminate corruption in government businesses and in the wider society.
President Muhammadu Buhari renews commitment to promotion of digital economy as veritable platform for delivering good governance.
We are assured also that we remain committed to driving further reforms, especially in the areas of security and the rule of law, and to generally improve the experience of doing business in Nigeria.
Nigeria and Canada chart new course for overcoming economic impediments to ensuring ease of doing business between both countries. Tripartite Committee on Minimum Wage meets in Abuja. Hope rises for a peaceful resolution of industrial dispute. And 19 suspected killers of late General Alkali arraigned in Jos High Court. A warm welcome to Network News. I am Joy Usiago. Reading with me tonight is Dotun Ogunyeme in our Lagos Network Center, and Chineye Nwoye joins us from Enugu. We begin by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari has challenged participants at the E-Nigeria conference now underway in Abuja to come up with innovative ideas towards enhancing government's efforts at creating an enabling environment for the promotion of digital economy, considering the nation's peculiarities. Declaring open the conference organized by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITA, the president described ICT as critical towards delivering good governance and sustainable national development. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
With the theme promoting a digital economy in an era of disruptive technologies through effective regulations, the E-Nigeria conference is aimed at enabling stakeholders within and outside Nigeria to discover new socio-economic development opportunities provided by an increasing advancement in technologies and innovation. President Muhammadu Buhari described as pleasing the huge role ICT is playing in the giant strides recorded by his administration in delivering good governance to Nigerians. This, he said, informed the issuance of Executive Orders 3 and 5 as part of deliberate efforts by government to, among others, strengthen the role of science, technology, and innovation in Nigeria's socio-economic development.
National Information Technology Development Agency is expected to work with all relevant government agencies to ensure full compliance with this directive. Defaulters of IT clearance among the public establishments are to be reported to government. We are serious about fighting corruption. We must not fail in our quest to eliminate corruption in government businesses and in the wider society.
He said apart from the impact of the ICT application on the social investment programs, the enforcement of the use of policy on the Treasury single account, among other initiatives, reinforced the federal government's fight against corruption by ensuring transparency and accountability in government business transactions.
This administration's commitment towards delivering good governance and development of our people is as strong as ever.
And it is noteworthy that the foreign direct investment in the sector has increased from $3.2 billion in 2015 to $4 billion in 2018. As a matter of fact, I must also add that as of today, ICT provides more jobs for the country than oil and gas industries.
Keynote speaker and pioneer chairman of the EFCC, Malam Nuhuri Badu, who blamed corruption for Nigeria's underdevelopment, spoke of the need to explore every available means, especially the use of modern technologies, to fight the menace.
Fighting corruption and indeed all important socio-economic changes require a firm, honest, and incorruptible leadership. Today in Nigeria, we are witnessing a revolution. EFCC alone got about 191 convictions within 8 months period. This is amazing. There is nowhere in the world this is happening.
The Director General of NIDA, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, who convened the conference, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the support, motivation, and encouragement that resulted in the unprecedented ICT revolution in Nigeria.
Because of the personality of the leadership we have in the country, the IT sector is repositioned well in order to migrate our country from knowledge-based economy to a digital one. Mr. President, we are thankful for that.
The E-Nigeria 2018 conference is aimed at accelerating the development and access to digital products and services to millions of Nigerian citizens, ultimately creating Africa's largest single digital market by the year 2020. In Abuja, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, experts are considering the need to ratify Nigeria's investment and promotion agreement to enable interested foreign investors explore opportunities abound in Nigeria. This was brought to the fore during the interactive session of Nigeria-Canada Investment Summit to ensure ease of doing business between Nigeria and Canada, particularly in the areas of mining, power, housing, agriculture, among others. Garba Muhammad Natala is here with the details.
Declaring the summit open, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says aside deepening investment in areas of agriculture, mining, power, another key aspect is to ensure security for meaningful development to take place.
We are committed to listening to you as investors and engaging with you. Please be assured also that we remain committed to driving further reforms, especially in the areas of security and the rule of law, and to generally improve the experience of doing business in Nigeria.
As Canadian business community indicated interest to invest and explore untapped opportunities in Nigeria, Minister of Trade and Investment emphasized on remodeling existing agreements, particularly on investment and promotion.
We will find a way, even if it's some kind of attachment to that agreement, to acknowledge this new environment in a way that, because I understand that we need to go ahead with the agreement that already exists.
While Nigeria-Canada relations remain robust, there is still room for further improvement in order to engender more economic cooperation.
In turn, Canada will reciprocate such by enhancing their foreign investment agreement for Nigerian businesses to thrive.
It's my hope that this new mandate, combined with increasingly adventurous Canadian companies, will meet more trade and investment in Nigeria.
Considering the long-existing bilateral relations that spans decades, the summit, first of its kind, has provided avenue for stakeholders to share ideas that will encourage mutually beneficial investment and trade between the two countries. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
And for a beat on finance, the federal government is strengthening the operations and legal framework of Tax Appeal Tribunal to address the more than 209 appeals with more than 7 trillion naira. To this end, the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, has inaugurated the Commissioner of the Tax Tribunal in line with the recommendations of the National Tax Policy. Aliu Tukur reports.
The government desire to achieve a sustainable growth and minimize the monolithic dependence on oil revenue has resulted to various reforms. One of which is the reform of the country's tax system, leading to the establishment of the Tax Appeal Tribunal in 2010 to resolve tax disputes on a basis that is free, fair, flexible, speedy and convenient. Against this backdrop, the Minister of Finance inaugurated more than 50 tax appeal tribunal commissioners with the mandate to adjudicate on all tax disputes arising from operations of various tax laws, as spelled out in the first schedule to the Federal Inland Revenue Service Act before gaining access to the law courts.
Very fundamentally, the current tax policy of the government places emphasis on areas of harnessing all necessary inputs towards achieving voluntary tax compliance.
The newly inaugurated commissioners promised to build confidence in the country's tax system.
We will ensure that the government gets not a couple less than what it ought to get. We will also ensure that the taxpayer does not pay a couple less than what he ought to pay.
FRS is to collect revenue, but to collect the correct amount of revenue. So where there's a difference of opinion, the tax tribunals will also have a look at the issues.
With the status of a federal high court, the tax appeal tribunal is established in 8 zones to cover the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Still talking business, Nigerian Stock Exchange begins the week with a loss as Debt Management Office offers bond for subscription. Details of these on our business news segment with Musa Abubakar.
Hello, a warm welcome to Business News. The Nigerian Stock Exchange started the week 5th November 2018 on a negative note. The all-share index depreciated 0.24% to close 32,048.18 basis points, while market capitalization dropped to 11.7 trillion naira. The financial services sector had the most traded shares, with Access, FCMB, and Guarantee Trust Bank topping the chart. Now, the Debt Management Office, on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, Monday offered for subscription Nigeria Savings Bond. The 2-year FG Savings Bond, due November 14, 2020, is at 12.3% per annum, while 3-year FG Savings Bond, due November 14, 2021, is opening at 13.39% per annum. The offer is expected to close November 9th and payment to conclude on the 14th. The auction seeks to encourage savings among Nigerians by lending to the government. That's it on Business News.
And turning to other issues now, President Muhammad Buhari says massive investments towards upgrading and developing Nigeria's transport and power infrastructure will be sustained for enhanced growth and development of the economy. The president stated this while receiving members of the Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria who called on him. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
Extreme infrastructure deficit we have.
President Muhammadu Buhari said Nigerians will never forget the lost opportunity between 1999 and 2015 when the nation had huge resources at its disposal. The president lamented that even as arteries of development, roads across Nigeria were left in critical state of disrepair. The rails were literally killed and there was no power, despite the admittance of some previous leadership to have spent $16 billion on the sector. President Buhari said today the country is getting her priorities right and expressed the belief that of the 3 fundamental issues of security, economy, and fighting corruption, which the governing APC campaigned on, are still relevant and much have been achieved in the task of addressing them. He used the opportunity to appreciate the People's Republic of China for financing some of the rail and power projects in the country through concessionary loans. The president promised to do his very best towards ensuring that quick improvements on infrastructure are made where necessary.
We have got a very big plan for the infrastructure for this country.
And on the planned nationwide strike by the organized labor, President Buhari appealed to the Nigeria Labour Congress to consider what this government inherited and the more it is doing with fewer resources in putting the economy right. Spokesman for the retired ambassadors, Ambassador Oladapo Faora, made a case for adjustment of their pension entitlements, retention of diplomatic passport for retired career ambassadors, allocation of land for the association's headquarters in Abuja, as well as adequate funding of the Foreign Affairs Ministry. The association is a non-partisan professional body committed to promoting Nigeria's national interest in the realm of foreign policy and international relations. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Thanks for staying with us. We'll pause for some messages. Stay tuned.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Hello. Hi, Jenny. Can you supply 1,000 bottles of juice by noon?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, bye.
Hello?
One day, I go any store and say I want everything.
Jenny. Auntie, please, I need a loan.
One day, anything I want, hurry up. Get it times 2. Someday, I'll be living.
Hello?
Clean that up. Because I don't get the money, you downgrade me.
Your order is on the way.
Are you an entrepreneur looking for financing to grow a business? I have good news for you. Development Bank of Nigeria now provides sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Please do remember, paying back your loan in good time will give you access to more loans.
Development Bank of Nigeria, financing sustainable growth.
Challenge can stop us, so Lord, and we are the brightest. No darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Malta Guinness is packed with B vitamins to fuel your greatness.
Don't you know? Time that money, so use that word. Don't you know that I will never let you down? Just a little love, just a little giving, show some love.
Enjoy free 250 MB every week just by recharging on Airtel Recharge Plus. Dial *479# to know more.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
I can't believe my girl graduated today.
Congratulations, Adako.
Thanks, Dad. Do you know the neighbor's daughter already has a job lined up for her? Her parents are so happy.
Well, there's a few positions I'm looking at this moment.
And your CV?
You have to have a CV.
I've got that sorted.
Are you prepared for the interview?
Mommy!
When we get home, I will test you on the interview questions.
Great idea. Sounds like fun. You for your hustle by Google.
The 73rd Executive Committee session and 41st Conference of Speakers of the African Parliamentary Union is to take place in Abuja from 5th to 9th November 2018 at the ECOWAS Secretariat at Sokoru, Abuja. Special guest of honor, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Host, President of the Senate, Senator Abubakar Bukola Saraki, Co-host, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Clerk to the National Assembly, M.A. Sani Omolori, Announcer.
Want to know what's coming, guys? The free beach ball! I guess I'd better start again. Oh, here we go, everybody. Free beach ball! Yes, guys, there's a free beach ball in every carton of Capri Sun. Get a carton, get a ball. It's time to play some more. Way!
Capri Sun, the taste of fun.
House of
Your favorite Maggi star now wears a new look. Its great taste and quality still remain the same. With Maggi, every woman is a star.
Thanks for staying with us on NTA Network News. Now let's check on the minimum wage meeting in progress. There are indications that the planned strike by organized labor will be averted, as all the members of the tripartite committee on minimum wage are currently meeting in Abuja. The atmosphere was calm and friendly, with optimism that the outcome of the conciliatory meeting will suit all parties. Minister of Labour Chris Ngige spoke to newsmen on position of things as at the time of this report.
We are making progress. The governor's figure should be the figure of the federal government. We are just trying to carry them along. That's why we made the discussion tripartite plus, just because we want to carry them along.
And the committee has two figures. I'm sure you are press people, you know about it, that the federal government suggested 24,000 and labor and the organized private sector gave a figure of 30,000. There's no statement. We have finished, we have signed it. But what we are insisting on that the strike should be called off.
Correspondent Anders Ahmed reports that the meeting is still in progress with representatives of Labour and state governors. Meanwhile, Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki has appealed to both the federal government and the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and Trade Union Congress (TUC) to work together in order to avert the proposed workers' strike in the interest of Nigerians. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Yusuf Olaniyonu, Saraki urged the two sides to resolve the industrial issue amicably by shifting from their extreme positions and create a new middle ground in the negotiations for the new minimum wage. He also expressed appreciation for the patience displayed by the labor leaders and stressed on the need to avert the impending industrial action within the economy. Similarly, the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, has appealed to Academic Staff Union of Universities to call off its strike and resume dialogue with government to ensure effective solution. Speaking to the media on the strike embarked upon by ASU, the minister said he is optimistic that one of the grievances of the union will soon be addressed with the release of approved 20 billion naira to universities.
I am optimistic that dialogue will produce better results. For us to negotiate under the pressure of strike may end up producing the kind of agreement we had in 2009, which almost all stakeholders have agreed is not easily implementable. As Minister of Education, I feel the pain. I share your concern and I'm willing to go to any mile so that together we can change the narrative for the better of this country. I want to use this opportunity to appeal to ASU to put off this strike in the name of the country and in view of what the situation is. Come, let us continue the talk, something that we already started.
And for a bit on asset recovery, the federal government says it will continue to collaborate with civil society organizations and other relevant agencies in the effective recovery of looted funds and assets, as well as its management and utilization for the benefit of the average Nigerian. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Shehu Malami San, stated this while engaging the CSOs on the process of recovery and proceeds of the crime bill before the National Assembly. Ilyasu Aliu Yakubu reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, since assumption of office in 2015, has been championing the fight against corruption, recovery of looted funds and assets, as well as blocking all loopholes to prevent further damage to the economy. This is done with stiff resistance from accused persons, with the aim of thwarting the federal government's efforts. The civil society organizations have been engaging in all the processes of recovery of looted funds and assets, as well as management and effective utilization. This meeting between the CSOs and the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice is brainstorming on centralizing the recovered assets and looted funds, as well as speedy passage of the process of crime bills, which, if passed, will make the process less cumbersome.
Nigeria needs to understand that the passing of this bill will put to rest most of the questions and loopholes currently being experienced in the area of asset recovery. The law will provide a framework where all stolen assets recovered will be centrally managed in a transparent and accountable manner for the benefit of Nigerians.
Lately, we have been working closely with the Asset Recovery and Management Unit of your ministry in developing policies around the asset recovery issues. We are in the process of launching the last push for the passage of the proceeds of crime bill.
Over 600 billion naira has so far been recovered by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, since the inception of the present administration. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
And talking renewable energy, efforts are being intensified for capacity development of youth on skills for Renewable Energy Commission of Nigeria. Usman Aliu reports.
Nigeria's Vision 2030 on power projects 30% of energy to be generated from renewable sources such as solar, wind, biomass and hydro, among other alternatives. This workshop about the value of alternative energy is part of the efforts to realize the vision. Experts here say alternative energy has dual advantage. It's simple, friendly, and can make these participants, the NYSC and students on industrial training, self-reliant.
60% of the causes of climate change is through energy development, particularly the fossil fuels. So this program that will promote and encourage the young ones to imbibe the concept of renewable energy and energy efficiency will certainly help us in meeting our own commitments to climate protocols and as well generally global warming worldwide.
With abundant sources of energy and the population growing, there is optimism here that capacity building such as this will help Nigeria overcome some of its social and economic challenges. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
Now, at what stage of implementation is the Ogoni cleanup project, which the Buhari administration has demonstrated strong commitment to? This was among key questions put forth by the House of Representatives Committee on Environment at an interaction with stakeholders involved in the project. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has the details.
The Federal Ministry of Environment, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, international oil companies and the National Project Coordinator are the organizations saddled with addressing the ecological damage in Ogoni land brought about by oil pollution.
I know for sure that the whole of the Niger Delta is not more than 7,000 square kilometers. It's a small area. Though this is a very technical project, but I expect that by now, some of the work should have progressed.
If you have such money sitting, let's make haste and utilize them.
As at now, we have up to $180 million
And so much work has been done in preparation for hitting the ground. So we don't know how much from this money is being expended.
In response to the issues raised, the Minister of Environment said there will be no broken promises as the Buhari-led administration has released funds to ensure thorough cleanup to restore the environment.
The Ministerial Standard Board will be sitting this week, and after that, the governing council of the cleanup will meet next week to take a final decision.
The basis for the HYBA unit report is that the SPDCJ partners will contribute 90%, right? And then 10% will come from the refineries.
The committee observed the need to speed up the preliminary stage of the project towards physical implementation. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Ondo State government is evolving a technology-driven innovation aimed at reducing the cost of road construction and opening up more rural roads for agriculture. This is being achieved with the use of engineering-based stabilizer and alternative innovation to asphalt in road construction. Doris Olumoko reports.
Access to farms has been one of the critical challenges of agriculture in Nigeria. Ondo State is pioneering a new technology that is likely to solve that problem once and for all.
We are convinced that this is the solution to some of our roads. We know of the fact that, look, to have these roads asphalted is going to cost enormous amount of money.
How does the technology work?
EBS solution was mixed into the tanker load of water. Once the water gets on the surface, with the sunshine, what happens is that the water evaporates.
What we're looking to achieve is to have a road with good tensile strength that is durable and motorable for as long as possible, at least 7 to 10 years.
With the use of this latest technology, about 500 kilometers of road is being targeted under the Rural Access Agric Mobility Road project in Ondo State. The pilot project is taking off in Mulege, an agrarian community in our local government area of Ondo State.
Before the road no good, but now it don't good as they don't repair and now no be like before.
This project will be inspected by the World Bank, and if certified okay, will be the template for rural access and agriculture mobility program across Nigeria. From Mulege in a local government area of Ondo State, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
And turning to space science now, Nigeria wants Africa to commence the implementation of the African space policy with the necessary support from institutions, industries and the academia to realize the overall objectives. Minister of Science and Technology Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu made this known at the opening of a 3-day African Leadership Conference in Space Science and Technology in Abuja. Justin Bam Uye completes the story.
Delegates from different parts of the continent and across the globe are here for a common discourse of focus on implementation of the African space policy and strategy. This is coming with a reflection on the progress of various African space programs and their cumulative effects on Africa United Front in space science and technology. Experts here are exploring ways that will engender positive impacts and narratives to promote the African space programs.
Space has an increasing role in Africa's development, and with an African Space Agency, Africa will be in a strategic position to negotiate better offers for the continent.
The coordination and the communication between African experts, policymakers, space nations in Africa, and the Secretariat for the African Union Commission will indeed make Africa we want in space science and technology.
Professor Sivatanu Pillai from India spoke on leveraging on a regional space program for the sustainable development of Africa.
India has got a very good space program which is helping the people in education, in telemedicine, in the community development. So similar approach is required.
As the conference ends in a couple of days, participants are to come up with robust deliberations and sound recommendations that can lead to the quickest implementation of the African space policy and strategy for the continent's collective benefits. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has assured that the federal government will sustain the tempo in its effort to make Nigeria a tourist haven. The minister stated this in Abuja while bidding farewell to members of the Latin America Motorcycle Association. Anthony Forson reports.
Members of the Latin America Motorcycle Association have been in Nigeria for about 2 weeks, visiting tourist sites and experiencing Nigeria's hospitality. Having come to the end of their visit, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed assured them that the federal government is determined to make Nigeria the tourist destination.
Our country is safer today than it was before the advent of this administration in 2015. In this juncture, we must thank the political will shown by the administration and also the commitment of the various security agencies.
Having created the enabling environment characterized by peace and security, he implored the bikers to take the positive news about Nigeria back to their respective countries.
I congratulate you all for this great adventure. I thank you for ignoring the naysayers and for having the courage and the confidence and the open mind to see things for yourselves in Nigeria. As you go, I urge you all to become great ambassadors of our great country, Nigeria. And I hope you will come back here in the not too distant future.
President of Lama, Mario Nieves, said they are overwhelmed by the hospitality of Nigerians and are proud to have their roots in Africa.
For me, personally, it has been the trip of my life. I'm from the Caribbean, from Puerto Rico, and everybody in the Caribbean has African roots. So this was like me coming home. But I had a big, heart-shaking surprise because I was given the honor of being elevated to chief, an honorary citizen here in Nigeria, part of Africa. I only say I wish my mother and my grandmother would have been here because they are no longer with me. They passed away, but they taught me my African roots.
The bikers rounded off their visit by bestowing on the minister an honorary membership with a decorative tag. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
We now have worthy ambassadors for Nigeria. And on that note, it's time to join Dotun in Lagos for more reports. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Joy, and welcome to Lagos. The federal government, through its Enterprise and Empowerment Program, Trader Money, has empowered traders at Ketu, Bariga and Oshodi markets with 10,000 naira non-interest loans. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo was at the various markets to express federal government's determination towards improving small-scale businesses in the country. Abolade Salami reports.
Excitement and jubilation. Traders at the K2 market received the federal government social intervention program, Trader Money, of 10,000 naira non-interest loan. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, in company of Lagos State Governor Akumi Ambode, were warmly received at the K2 markets by the enthusiastic traders, where the Vice President had an interactive session with some traders. The warm reception was replicated at the Bariga and Nigerian Army Shopping Mall Arena in Oshodi, where the traders expressed their appreciation to the federal government kind gesture towards the development of small businesses in the country.
So this is the first time of knowing it in this market. It's a very laudable initiative. It's a welcome development as far as the issue of this market is concerned. We love it and we want it to continue the way it has commenced.
We are very happy and we are going to orientate our people that they should know what to do with the money. So we are very happy. We thank the government very well.
The Executive Director, Micro Enterprises, Bank of Industry, Toyin Adeniji, described the social intervention program as a means to scale up small businesses and encourage more women in petty trading.
Trader Money is a social intervention program under this Buhari administration, and it is geared at petty traders to receive some empowerment, financial empowerment to grow their businesses. And we are all over Nigeria. Every single state has received, has Trader Money beneficiaries.
The social intervention program of the present administration, stakeholders say, has passed the 1 million beneficiary mark. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo says there is an improvement in the quality of lawyers produced from various universities in the country. He has therefore called for an increase in the number of lawyers, saying it will serve as a building block for sustainability of democracy. Professor Osinbajo stated this at a competition organized for law undergraduates in Lagos.
Describing the overall relevance of the law profession as fundamental to the delivery of justice, system of governance, and administration in the country, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo reiterated that a faulty justice system poses risks to governance and society. He said law firms had the contributory role and responsibility in the formation of lawyers who can put forward facts to back up sound arguments.
And encouraging young lawyers, young advocates to really be the best they can be, especially in presenting their cases, presenting their arguments to panels, whether those panels are the distinguished panel we have today, or individual judges or judges of the appellate courts.
Earlier, 10 finalist law undergraduates from higher institutions across the country presented briefs on the legality of the Lagos State Power Reform Law to address electricity distribution and generation. Contestants were rewarded with various sums of money and other opportunities. Umsute Paul, a 500-level law undergraduate from Benue State University, clinched first position.
What we're seeing here is simply the building blocks to making those who participated to be great advocates. They gain confidence, they know exactly the basic things about advocacy.
This pushes your intellectual ability, not just that, but your discipline, based on merit, not based on where you come from or based on your religion.
Simon Cooper's Advocacy Development Initiative is a brainchild of the Vice President that helps to groom undergraduate law students and lawyers across the country. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Leading aviation ground handling service provider, Skyway Aviation Handling Company, is offering the public the chance to jointly own 49% of its total shares. At the execution of offered documents in Lagos, the company said over 400 million ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at 4 naira 65 kobo per share is available for sale. Michael Olaleye reports.
The Skyway Aviation Handling Company, SACA, became a private enterprise in 2009 under the willing seller, willing buyer core investor sales exercise of the National Council on Privatization. Under the condition, the company is expected to transfer a certain percentage of its equity stake to the Nigerian public through public offer. Now, with market share and revenue increasing, the signing of this execution of offer documents becomes necessary to enlist the company on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
The offer is being undertaken to enable the current shareholders divest 460 million and 74,000 ordinary shares of 50 kobo, each representing 30% of the entire issued and fully paid up ordinary shares of SACO.
SACO, which is 100% owned by CFAC Group, also reserves 10% of the 49% share on offer for its staff. The Bureau of Public Enterprises described the transaction as the major offer since the last 4 years and enjoined Nigerians to take advantage of it.
If you look at the financial statements and the history of investment that has taken place by the core investor over the past 10 years, we believe that it commands, value at this point in time, which will be compensated by the investing public.
The issuing house for the transaction is Vectiva Capital Limited, while Codrus is the financial advisor.
It is not an offer for subscription.
So the proceeds of the sale will be going to the vendors, that is the owners of the company, and not to SACCO.
SACCO says it will continue to create long-term stakeholders' value through profitable operation and expansion of its business beyond the shores of Africa. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
It's often caused by bacteria and viruses. Feels like they're having a party. You need Strepsils. It soothes the pain, plus it fights the germs with 2 germ-killing actives. Double power in 1 lozenge. Bye-bye sore throat. Take Strepsils.
The Southwest offices of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA), Nigerian Shippers Council (NSC), and Nigerian Export Promotion Council (NEPC) will be holding a one-day interagency stakeholders workshop. Theme: Promoting non-oil export shipping trade capacity in the Southwest. Objectives: to enlighten stakeholders on the prospects and procedures for promoting non-oil export shipping trade capacity in the Southwest. Special guest of honor: Executive Governor of Oyo State, Governor Abiola Ajimobi. Guest of honor: Executive Governor of Ekiti, Ondo, Osun, Ogun, and Kwara States. Date: Tuesday, 6 November 2018. Venue: International Conference Center, Ibadan, Oyo State. Time: 9 a.m. For further inquiries, please contact Announcer, Organizing Committee.
Nigeria we hail. Those who divide our people are getting better at their game. Yet, now we did do ourselves pass. Lecturer they oppress student them. Bus driver they show passenger where. Local government people are terrifying local government people. Campaign people will come and go. Grammar people will remain. So now, many people have become Uncle Thomases, unwilling to desire or work for a better nation. We must continue to push and believe, and small, our prayers will be answered. This education you go get down. These children, them go grow and prosper. And this business, they not go spoil for your hand, because Union Bank understands what it means to push through challenges, and together we go clear every doubt when they are our way. Don't be an Uncle Thomas. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
Me got the sunshine in my life. Oh, mama, I told you everything gonna be fine. Oh, mama, dear mama, oh, yeah.
Kehinde suffers from indigestion. His twin Taiyi suffers from heartburn. Sometimes it's the other way around, or both. That's why they use Gaviscon Double Action. It soothes within 3 minutes and lasts for up to 4 hours. For double relief from heartburn and indigestion, Gaviscon Double Action.
Darling, what's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet contains powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever. Baby, how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available in syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to healthy living.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, more reports with Chinenye in our Enugu Network Center. Hello, Chinenye.
Hello, Joey. Good evening and welcome to Enugu. Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, and civil society organizations in Enugu are in a dialogue to ensure a hitch-free election come 2019. The dialogue, INEC says, is to explore the role of civil societies in improving the conduct of the elections. Ifeoma Kole has more. Ifeoma Kole has more. Ifeoma Kole has more.
The electoral process.
We sincerely apologize for that audio problem from our Enugu Network Center. Moving on now, the Plateau State Police Command has arraigned the 19th suspect at Jos High Court in connection with the death of the late Army General Idris Alkali. The suspects were arraigned on a 2-count charge of criminal conspiracy and capable homicide, alleged to have taken place on the 3rd of September 2018. Reinrat Silvanus Lord tells us more.
In the case between Commissioner of Police versus Pam Chuang and 18 others, the accused were charged with criminal conspiracy punishable under Section 97 of the Penal Code with 3 years imprisonment and culpable homicide punishable by death. Having pled not guilty of the charges, the counsel to the prosecution, Emmanuel Achoba, prayed the presiding judge, Justice Daniel Longji, to grant an ex parte motion so the prosecution can prepare for hearing. Counsel to the accused, Gyangzi, on the other hand, begged the jury to briefly stand down proceedings to enable him access to his clients, something he says he was denied of. The case was adjourned to the 10th of December for hearing, while the accused remain in prison custody pending the trial. From the Plateau State High Court, Reinrat Silvanus Lot, NTA News.
Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong has commiserated with the Nigerian Army and family of late Major General Idris Alkali, describing his death as a colossal loss, not to the Army and the family alone, but Nigeria as a whole. The governor stated this while he paid a condolence visit to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, and the family of the late general in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello has details of the visit.
Governor Simon Lalong described the incidents as unfortunate, considering the significant role the army is playing towards restoring peace in the state.
When we had the unfortunate incident, I am sure it's one of the series of some of the problems that are still buried on ground in Plateau State. But on behalf of the government of Plateau State, we're here to condole you and the entire armed forces.
So many, almost all the security agencies in the state know what was happening in that community, and nobody bothered to take decisive action. And this is one of the banes of the security agencies.
The governor thereafter proceeded to the residence of Major General Idris Alkali to also commiserate with the family.
But we assure you that we will prosecute whoever is responsible to the last point.
We are actually concerned that yes, the government and people of Plateau are all out for justice.
In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with the Away Traditional Council, the government and people of Nasarawa State over the passing away of the Emir of Away, Alhaji Abubakar Umar II. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari also extends his sincere condolences to the family of the late Emir, who led for years with dedication and unrelenting commitment to peace and development. The president believes that with the outpour of grief in the state and beyond, it is clear that the first-class ruler was well loved by his people and has sacrificed a lot for their advancement. The late Emir, he said, left a legacy of hard work, peace-building, selflessness and patriotism for his subjects and admirers to emulate. Some members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, who contested the October 7th State House of Assembly primaries election have pledged their loyalty and continued support to President Muhammadu Buhari's second term in office. They made the pledge at a press conference in Abuja, where they expressed concern over the State Assembly primary in which they were declared winners, but yet to be recognized. Here's Anthony Gandunu's report.
The group, under the aegis of All Progressives Congress APC candidates for the State House of Assembly in the 2019 election, while expressing commitment to the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari for good governance and purposeful leadership, also acknowledged the leadership of Governor Ibikunle Amosun for raising the bar of governance in the state.
Pledging our loyalty and continued support to President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, we are committed to his second term in office.
The group of prospective Ogun lawmakers, however, expressed concern following the purported request by the APC national headquarters for another list of candidates from the same primary that held on October 7.
Another break beckons. Please stay with us on NTA News.
The impact of hate speech on the electoral process and nation building is the focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The program promises to be incisive and educative with those who should know. Don't miss it.
Can your milk do this?
Love is boiled sweet stuck to your pockets. Love is a kiss.
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? Mine can.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your cereals, smoothies, and variation of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
House of cheese. Who am I? I'm a caregiver.